Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. It's good to have you here tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. Today, Washington's Secretary of Health, Dr. Umar Shah, visited Spokane's mass vaccination site. Our own Regina Ahn is live there right now. And Regina, you were there all afternoon. So how did it go? How did his visit go today?
Yeah, Whitney, Tom, so Secretary Shah was here this afternoon. You know, the first time here at the mass vaccination site in Spokane. And, you know, the biggest thing was he was just very grateful for everyone's community efforts to get people vaccinated. You know, the Spokane Department of Health was here along with the Washington National Guard, and he took time to personally thank each and every one that is working so hard to get hundreds of thousands of people in Spokane vaccinated. And also, he spent about an hour and a half touring the site, and I was able to ask him a couple of questions this afternoon. And now the biggest challenge at this point that Shah says is, of course, the vaccine supply. He says the state is now getting more notice about when to expect more vaccines so they can better prepare to serve people all across the state. He says at this point we don't have enough vaccines, but we are prepared to administer them as soon as we get them. He also says the general population should be able to get vaccinated by sometime this spring or summer, but again mentioned that it really comes down to whether or not the state receives those necessary doses.
We have the capacity to be able to do markedly more than we can here or elsewhere across the state. We just don't have enough vaccines, which makes it very difficult to make vaccine allotments and allocations because invariably you just don't have enough to go around. But our goal is to continue to build the capacity so when the vaccine supply increases, that we're able to then very quickly be able to get that into the arms of Washingtonians.
Now, again, Dr. Shah is touring some of the mass vaccination sites in smaller communities. As he says, it's very important to really see how these sites are doing all across the state. Now, as coming up at 5 tonight, we'll dive more into the questions that I asked Shah, like how to get those rural communities the vaccinations and how to make those appointments a little bit easier for you. And he does have some good concrete answers to those questions. Also, in the meantime, right here at the Spokane Arena mass vaccination site, about 800 shots are given per day. That's from the Department of Health. Also tonight at 5 is when those appointments will open up. Also, for more information on all of this, be sure to visit our website, krem.com. For now, live here in Spokane, Regina Ahn, KREM 2 News.
Well, Washington State is nearing the 1 millionth COVID vaccine dose to be given out. Right now, there have been 942,000 doses administered. That is just over 12% of the population in the state. And at least one person has had one of those 2 doses. 2.5% of people are now fully vaccinated in Washington State. Over in northern Idaho, tomorrow, the Panhandle Health District will be releasing 650 COVID-19 vaccine appointments. These will be available for their Kootenai, Shoshone, and Benewah County vaccine clinics. Appointments open tomorrow morning at 9. To register, go to panhandlehealthdistrict.org. These are not walk-in clinics. All the vaccines are given by appointment only.
And new this week, Idaho has released a new tool so you can see how many vaccine doses are going out and how they're being used. There are 8 different regions in the state, and it shows the Panhandle region has distributed 70% of the vaccine doses it has received so far. It's administered more than 25,000 of the more than 36,000 doses it's received. In Idaho, they also have a total of 71% of vaccines that have been administered. The data is from February 7th. The distributed doses include both the first and second doses. To access this tool, just visit krem.com, and we've got a link right there for you. All right, you probably are noticing that the chill is really settling in. It doesn't take long to go outside and you're like, man, I'm really cold.
Yeah, it's not getting above freezing all this week. Temperatures are going to get even colder as we move on later on. Let's take a look at the weather headlines and what we're talking about. The Arctic blast this week. The coldest temperatures are expected Thursday and Friday into Saturday morning. Those lows, of course, will be in the single digits later this week. And then sub-zero wind chills also in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. Right now we're at 24 degrees. Wind is calm, so the wind is not much of a factor right now. But again, that air temperature already pretty chilly. Doppler radar, as you can see, looking pretty quiet. Your day planner forecast calling for an overnight low tonight in Spokane of 15 degrees. It'll be colder in the northern valleys. We'll look for partly cloudy skies tomorrow, but we could even see snow flurries at times, but no accumulation. Look for a daytime daytime high of 28 degrees. You know me, I'm always looking ahead to the weekend. Pretty cold. 8 degrees the morning low on Saturday. 13 will be the morning low on Sunday. If you have a Valentine, snuggle up because we look for a daytime high of only 27. So we've talked about these temperatures rapidly decreasing over the coming days. Well, homeless shelters are ramping up their effort to keep people warm and safe.
Yeah, the city of Spokane is now working with the local shelters to make sure that no available bed in the city goes unused, even flexing additional space for high-risk individuals to available hotels and motels in the region.
For anybody, you're out here for 5 or 10 minutes and you're freezing. I have on 4 layers of clothes and I spent all day out yesterday with these folks and I was frozen to the bone. I can't imagine sleeping in this. I can't imagine why this is ever okay.
Now, the Spokane Fire Department will also conduct welfare checks throughout the evening over the next few nights, taking any additional steps to secure the safety of vulnerable people in our city. History is in the making on Capitol Hill as the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump kicks off in the Senate.
Yeah, the former president was charged with inciting the January 6th Capitol assault that resulted in the deaths of 5 people, including a Capitol police officer. The Senate has voted 56-44 to move forward with the trial.
Senators, this cannot be our future. This cannot be the future of America. We cannot have presidents inciting and mobilizing mob violence against our government and our institutions because they refuse to accept the will of the people under the Constitution of the United States.
They hated the results of the 2016 election and want to use this impeachment process to further their political agenda.
Trump's attorneys argue the Senate lacks the authority to try a president who's no longer in office, while impeachment managers say that argument has been rejected by legal experts across the political spectrum. It is still unclear whether witnesses may be called, but the former president is not expected to appear. Well, we want to give you a quick sneak peek at a story that we're working on for you tomorrow on KREM 2, sitting down with U.S. Representative Cathy McMorris Rodgers.
Yeah, in her first on-camera interview since the day of the insurrection at the Capitol, I had a chance to question the Congresswoman on everything from the riot itself to the divisiveness that is currently in America and how we can move forward from here.
And so I hope in the midst of all of this that we all really look at what we can be doing to restore civility and these values that we've long admired and upheld as Americans.
What does that mean for you? What will you do differently moving forward?
Well, it means, I would say this has been on my mind for a number of years. I've been concerned about the lack of civility. And I share that because this has been building for a number of years.
Does it mean speaking up? Even members of your own party? Does it mean speaking up if they're doing something that you don't think is civil? Hear more from the Congresswoman, including her answer to that question and the rest of our exclusive interview. That's coming up tomorrow on KREM 2 News at 6. In the meantime, it is special election day here across the state of Washington, so voters will be deciding on school levies that provide money for public schools.
Ballots are due tonight by 8 o'clock. They must be postmarked with today's date or dropped off at a ballot box in order to be counted. So here's a breakdown of how many ballots were returned in each school district so far. Voter turnout in Spokane County is only at 33%, with more than 113 ballots returned countywide, compared with an 81% voter turnout in last November's election. Rosalia's school district had the most voter turnout, with almost 67% of those ballots returned. Following that is 9 Mile Falls School District with 44%, and Great Northern School District has 40% of the ballots returned. To make sure your vote is counted, you can check it out at votewa.gov.
And a reminder that if you would like more information on the special election, you can just text the word election to 509-448-2000, and we will have live results, including coverage on all of our newscasts tonight and on our KREM 2 app as well. The results start coming in shortly after 8 o'clock tonight. You can watch an analysis of the vote tonight on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11.